Alrighty, so we just got the data download for all the new characters dropping into Dokkan in 1 day and 2 hours. So essentially tomorrow from when this is being recorded, and they are dropping at 1 a.m. EDT on the 29th for the main EZAs, and then the Shadow Dragons are going to be dropping 3 hours later. I'm not really sure why, but they are, so it is what it is, right? Now, with that character being free, it'll be interesting to see. I didn't see anything on Twitter right away from like if there'll be an Extreme Z battle, if there'll just, it'll probably be like the Battlefield currency, if I had to guess. That's typically how these are awakened, so we'll have to see how much Battlefield currency we get with the Part 2 Battlefield and stuff like that for this specific celebration. But I just want to talk about some things that I have seen so far in this data download, kind of go over some of these sub EZAs. I didn't really talk about these much yesterday, just because I felt that it wasn't as exciting as the Super EZAs, and there's some interesting things with these characters. I think Sin is really good. Sin has potential to really like hone in on the GT Bosses team, essentially, that Omega is running with his early onset damage reduction. I'm not going to open this up because the data download's not on global yet. So this is JP. You guys can see from the Dokkan info website here. This is the Japanese version of the website. So we have the core information we need from the Japanese side, and then I just have some images from tweets pulled up. I'll say who they're from and all that, but this one right here, right? This is what we are looking at. It'll be interesting to see how these two characters are handled, because we've seen in the past characters of this specific archetype have been banned in difficult content. Now, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you might be thinking, Vil, like, why is that a thing? These characters are no good. Well, you're right. They are not good, right? Or they were not good, and their EZAs are like look decent. But the problem is, I can pull this up here a little bit. You guys will get the gist of this, right? So I don't know if it's going to translate or not. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. We'll do this, right? So you guys will get sort of the idea. With this right here, I guess it's just, okay, there we go. Attack 35% up for each power attribute, which is a power ball. Basically what that means is attack 35% per key sphere, right? Yeah, these translations are rough from Google Translate here, right? But you guys get the idea. So for STR key spheres, this is what we call a nuking leader. So this guy is a nuking leader, and this guy is a nuking leader. So what that means is they are banned from a lot of difficult fights, because Dokkan doesn't want you going into an event where they have 4 item slots available or 2 item slots available, and then using a Ghost Usher or an active skill that's a Ghost Usher, something like that, and then doing some nuke shenanigans to beat the boss in 1 turn. Now, you might be wondering, why does it matter? Well, from the perspective of Dokkan, which doesn't mean I have to agree with it, it means that they feel that if you can go in and nuke an event with somebody like in Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, or any nuke character that you could think of that gets like extra attack and defense per key sphere, that is going to be that would decentivize players from feeling like they need to summon for the new characters, therefore not buying stones, therefore not summoning, all these different things. So that is why they typically don't let you nuke most bosses. So just keep that in mind. But support looks decent on Trunks, right? This is Trunks is sort of like the so that's why they did it for STR Vegeta. But the problem is with the STR Goku and Vegeta, right? Like, this was the Trunks that they had planned. Really, it's Vegeta and Trunks, but for now, this is the Trunks that we have, but you can't run them on Future Saga together, so that is a bit of an interesting little conundrum there. But looking otherwise, we've got Goku and we got Pan. They look okay, right? Like, there's nothing too crazy here. But what I do want to talk about in specific is the LR Shadow Dragons EZA. Now, this isn't going to be a perfect translation, but we have enough to sort of work with here for the Shadow Dragons, this character right here. Here is the first set of translations. I'm getting this via Dokkan World here on Twitter, so thank you very much for that. They just posted them. I don't know if they did the translations, but key 4, attack and defense plus 177% at the start of turn, and then we are going to be giving GT bosses category key plus 3. That's where morale means key. Then attack and defense plus 40%. So they are a baseline 40% support character, and we have a lot of support characters going on that team. So for each team, with the so I guess it's for each ally with GT bosses or extreme, we are going to be getting 42% damage reduction or 35% damage reduction right here, and then attack and defense plus 30%. So that will be nice. Then when all team members are extreme or GT bosses, we will have effective against all types and then extra 17% support. So that's going to be 57% support, right? So that is good. Now, when we go down here, we have attack and defense with key is 12 or more. And then when key is 18 or more, we get attack and defense 77%. And then when we get to key to 24, I need to figure out what attention rate of 77% means. I think that means crit rate 77%, right? And that makes sense, I think. What else would it really be, right? I would imagine that's what it is. And then if the enemy or is attack lowered or defensive lowered, which is what LR Omega does, basically a lot of these Omega Shenron characters do, we get key plus 7 and then attack plus 77%. Now, that's not it. Now we need to look at the active skill and the super attack effects. So to get started, we have an active skill that can be started from 7th from the turn 7 is not great, right? And then he increases his own key by 7 and then debuffs the enemy by 30% for attack and defense. That's not bad. Then for the super attack for the 12 key, greatly increase attack for 1 turn, cause immense damage to the opponent, and decrease attack and defense. So not the worst effect I've ever seen, right? I would like some defensive raising in here, though. I think that's important. But then we also have greatly raised attack for 1 turn, causes ultra colossal damage to the enemy, and greatly decreases the attack and defense with a high chance of stunning. So that's going to be a 50% chance to stun. Now, that's not bad, but the issue I kind of see here right off the bat is I am not seeing anything for the, for defensive raising, right? Like we have it in here and it's all going to be, so like attack and defense plus 154% from getting the key to 18, and then the 177 right here, and then also attack and defense 30% here. So it's going to be a lot of numbers with damage reduction, but I would have liked to have some additional ways to raise it via the super attack. I think that's pretty important, and we do not have that in here. So that's kind of interesting, but we'll have to see. You have to keep in mind that this character is going to be designed with mainly two physical Omega Shenrons in mind. So if you are somebody who does have Omega, you could potentially make this character look good. And one thing you also have to remember is this is a free-to-play character here. This is not somebody that is like a brand spanking new summonable Carnival or Dokkan Festival exclusive LR. This is a free-to-play character that you will be awakening via an exchange shop. So we're not expecting Rose Omega level dominance here. I think Ice Shenron would, or not Ice, Nova Shenron would probably be the bar, in my opinion, for like what we would want for a good free-to-play LR, at least in terms of the GT Bosses team and stuff like that. So that is sort of what it's coming down to with the characters here. But if we continue to move on, there are also some things that I think are pretty interesting that we could talk about briefly. But we have some support missions, and this is courtesy of The Truth DC on Twitter. This is just from the data download, right? That just is where I got it from. But we have some extra support missions that are going to make this a lot easier to get done for the sub EZAs, right? Because all of these characters, unfortunately, are not part of different Extreme Z battles. So what we're going to have is these are sub EZAs right here, these 5 from something. Sin is going to be his own Extreme Z battle, and then these are going to be separate super EZAs, so just like less stones, right? Because it was a little bit ambitious to think that we were going to get 180 stones here just from Extreme Z battles, so keep that in mind. But before you go thinking that you're going to have to do like a ton of work to get this done, the game is kind of slow, or giving you a bit of a hand here, giving you all of the medals that you're going to need in order to get this done. And maybe I do a guide on this, maybe I don't, in terms of like how we're going to be handling this, like how to get these missions done, but it should be pretty easy. Level 30 or above with, within 2 minutes and 40 seconds to do an old EZA like this should not really be bad whatsoever. As long as you have type advantage, you're going to be good, and you should be able to get this done pretty easily. You get some good Zenny in here, some Elder Kais that'll help you out, and then these extra medals are going to be very nice if you do need to do the sub EZAs as well, which I'm sure most of you will be doing now. It's just good stuff to make sure that you're getting done, and that is that. But we also have a new wallpaper, so that's pretty cool. For those of you who are interested, this is going to be going to the homepage, right? This is a a pretty good one, right? It's been a while since we've had a good GT wallpaper because we have some very old Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta ones that don't really look good anymore. So I'm happy that we are getting one that is of pretty high quality here, right? I believe people were saying this was a Budokai 3 reference, if I'm not mistaken, that they got this from. So pretty cool stuff. Budokai 3 is actually my favorite console Dragon Ball game of all time. Right up there. My ranking would be a little bit weird. Because it would be Budokai 3, and then probably just based on playtime, Xenoverse 2, and then Tenkaichi 3 would probably be my 3 favorite. Other than Budokai 3, not really any particular order, but I know Xenoverse 2 is a bit of a meme, but I think that game, just how long it's lasted and how the quality of characters and stuff like that, I'm a big fan of it. So we've got, again, Gogeta and Omega here in a wallpaper. Let me scan through before I let you guys go and make sure we don't miss out on anything else. So that is going to be it for this video. Just wanted to briefly cover this data download. Usually I don't do stuff like this, but I figured you guys would be interested to see when the EZAs drop and the details for the characters like the Shadow Dragons and stuff. So let me know if you're excited down below for any of this, any issues you have with the content in specific. Do you like these characters? Do you not like these characters? All of that fun stuff in the comment section below. Leave a like if you did enjoy, and subscribe if you're new, so that way you don't miss out on any of my Dokkan content. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.